Hi guys, this is GG Your Face, and I'll be talking about a game between IdrA and a Terran player. IdrA is playing as the red Zerg at the 9 o'clock position, and the Terran player is playing as the blue Terran at the 6 o'clock position. And at the very beginning, IdrA has scouted in the correct direction because this is the most likely scouting path for the Overlords. You usually scout to the base that's closest to you on all the maps, and in a second he's going to have to make a decision to whether show or not show his Overlord. And it looks like he wanted to not show and then he decided to show it. It's important because a lot of the times your opponent might or might not be doing a proxy barracks or 6-pool or a proxy pylon. So IdrA does feel like he needed to find out what's going on inside the base, and we do see a 15 extractor and 14 pool going down for IdrA at the moment. And the Terran player is just walling off with a barracks and a supply depot at the very beginning. The reason some players don't want to show the Overlord is because as a player that is not a Zerg, as a Terran or Protoss, you usually scout the cross map position, which would be at the 3 o'clock at this expansion, and then you would scout the 12 and then the 9. That is the sensible way, not the ooh I have a feeling he's over there kind of way. So sometimes it might be suitable for you to not scout and show the Overlord, because then you would make your opponent waste more time instead of having the SCV go to the correct path right away. Another Overlord coming in. This Overlord might be hovering at the middle because the middle does not have solid ground, so he can't really do anything. And we will see a 16 hatchery, and it looks like he's going to pull off some of these drones just to get enough gas for the metabolic boost. And this one drone should be coming off very, very shortly. And ooh, we see a command center going up along with another supply depot. So IdrA will probably not expect the command center to go up so early, because usually you would just send the Overlord inside, and then once you check out the guy is there, he will just leave and not send a suicidal Overlord in anytime soon. That's why this Overlord is over here. He's probably going to go a little bit later in the match, but there is a Marine here to deter this Overlord from going in, so he probably wants to save it until a little bit later. But that is exactly what the Terran player wants, because he wants sufficient time, and he's actually getting double gas at the same time. This is very, very neat build. It's something that is not very common. A couple of Marines being built by the Terran player, as he's going to probably lift the command center after he builds the overall command for it. 2 Zerglings coming in for IdrA. IdrA doesn't know the command center is already down for the blue Terran player, so he's not going to get too much information because it is wall off, and there is no reactor and no tech lab. But the no reactor and no tech lab might signify to him that the Terran player is going to be expanding once again instead of just staying on one base. So he probably will feel safe with just a couple of Zerglings on the map. He still only has 2 Zerglings, and he's making a lot of drones. It looks like he does not think the Terran player is going to be pushing out anytime soon. And the Terran player is making a second barrack as well as a factory. The Ober command is about to finish on this command center. He's probably going to be lifting that out pretty soon. IdrA has placed down 1 spine crawler to defend because those 2 Zerglings just went down, or that was extremely good game sense. But IdrA is making a couple of more Zerglings, but it doesn't look like the Terran player is pushing out anytime soon. It's always a good idea to make your opponents think you're pushing out, even if you're not, and it looks like he's going to be building a reactor and a tech lab as well. These are just double orbital command centers pumping SCVs. This is a very, very interesting idea, and a 3rd supply depot is going to finish the wall off once again with these Marines defending it. And the Terran player has recently started the stem packs and steam packs. I mean, the couple of Zerglings are going to run in and try to check out what's going on. IdrA will know that he has lifted the barracks, so we will see 2 barracks, 1 factory. He almost lost the Zergling. They're very, very fine control by IdrA, not losing even 1 Zergling to about 5 very, very well placed Marines. And this one Marine is patrolling between those 2 points. A very, very good idea. This will keep the opponent's Overlords away and deny scouting information. So if we look at IdrA's point of view of the base, he doesn't know anything but these 3 supply depots at the moment. And if we look at the Terran's point of view, he doesn't see too much either. He just sees the spawning pool. And infestation pit is going down. I think IdrA is going to decide to tech up to the Ultralisk, and 1 Zergling is at the side. He's going to sense that the Terran player is going to move out pretty soon, but the Terran player already has a super saturation of SCVs. If we take a look at the unit counts, both players very, very even. Usually you would see the Terran player having less SCVs, but this Terran player built the command center right after the barracks, and he was able to pump those SCVs as much as IdrA did. as a Zerg player. At the moment, 2 additional queens are currently being built. Having 2 queens is not enough. Queens are a very good idea against anti-air, because even though they're moving very slow, they can help defend against the air and also spread creep. Creep spread is very important for the Zerg, and once again, the Terran player is going to be scouted by that one Zergling to let IdrA know that he has pushed out. 4 gas for IdrA, it looks like he only has 2 drones on this line. I'm not sure if that's a mistake. And there is 2 refineries, and 3rd refinery is up, and the 4th one is going up at the moment. And if we take a look at the unit count, a couple of marines and a tank is going to come across, and as soon as he hits this creep, or actually right now IdrA does know he's already there, and he's going to come over with an infestor, and fungal, perfectly placed fungal growth, getting all of these units. All of these units are slowly dying. Another fungal growth goes off, and it looks like all of those marines will die. A couple of Zerglings come in to finish off the tank. Very fine control. That was perfectly planned and executed by IdrA. 2 bunkers, 2 factories, no starport just yet, and an engineering bay for the Terran player, and IdrA is having a lot of fun just building up right now. He's going unchecked. A scan does go off, so the Terran player will know that he has gotten an evolution chamber. There's not too many buildings for IdrA at the moment. He's going to put down a spine crawler inside the base of his main an infestation pit, and it looks like he's probably going to go for a hive pretty soon. I think IdrA's thinking about harassing right now. He is getting the upgrades for the ground units, and he's building additional queens as well. I think he's thinking about a mass expansion possibly. The Terran player is correctly building this wall very nicely. This will prevent a surround on the tank. The Hellion in perfect position. Very nice wall up here. We will see a drop inside the base, but the infestor comes over and fungal grows, and a couple of Zerglings will come in, and very nice control, and another fungal growth goes off on the medic, forcing the medic to stay. He's dropping off marines, and every single time a marine falls, he dies. Very nice control there by IdrA. The Terran player simply did not have any other choice but to leave his units and try to let them fend for themselves. And you also want to put a supply depot behind this smoke screen here, because the smoke screen does allow your opponent to potentially drop you. We do see a couple of upgrades going up for IdrA. He's getting the melee attack as well as the adrenal glands for the Zerglings, making them attack even faster. IdrA really favors the melee aspect of the Zerg, but I have seen him do a Hydralisk along with a queen. I mean, not one queen, but a lot of queens. Hydralisk and queen. You spread the creep and have the Hydralisk run across it. Very effective if you have a lot of queens mass spreading the creep. Right now we see a 4th base is going up for IdrA, and the Terran player is going to get his 3rd base. If we take a look at the army count, slightly ahead for IdrA, 115 versus 97. 97 is actually supply block right now. I think this might be hurting the Terran player a little bit. He did not expect it to be supply block. Supply block is never a good thing for any players, and another command center is going to be going up any moment, and it looks like the Terran player has a very good idea keeping up with the number of expansions of the Zerg. He has just recently gotten his 3rd base as well. If we take a look at the unit count for the probes and drones, very close there, 66 to 63. The income for both players almost identical in terms of minerals. IdrA is slightly ahead because he has gotten those 2 extractors up already, and it looks like he still has only 2 drones on this one extractor. A little bit strange. Maybe he didn't do that on purpose and he forgot about it. The Overlord speed has been upgraded, and he's also getting the Ultralisks out right now. Ultralisks are very mean animals. They are extremely hard to kill unless you are behind a lot of bunkers and the Ultralisks aren't hitting you, and that is what actually happens a lot of the times when you're playing against Terran. And a couple of infestors. These infestors are very good. This one infestor has 14 kills from those 14 marines from the beginning. A couple of Hellions are going to come out, and I believe they do have the upgrade, and we might be able to see some drones getting killed right now, and these drones are getting roasted by those Hellions. A lot of drones went down, but fungal growth goes off, and IdrA will be able to sweep up those Hellions with those Zerglings and infestors. IdrA moving his Overlord over to the 3 o'clock position and spreading creep. Very good idea, because this will delay your opponent a few more seconds before he expands there. If we take a look at the army count, slightly ahead for IdrA, 180 to 140, but IdrA has not been very aggressive this game. He's been expanding some more, and I think the limit cap is mainly due to the Terran player getting supply block. He's actually supply block once again. And he's going to move out with a couple of Hellions across the middle of the map with their upgrades. 1-0 upgrades for the Terran player, and if we look at Zerg player, 1-1 upgrades or has already been finished. He will kill off that scouting SCV, and the Hellions do decide to back away. Because once you lose your scout or the unit that you lose on purpose to see information from your opponent, it actually lets you see a little bit more, even with the fog of war, the movement and the unit composition of your opponent. So it's always important to hit spacebar whenever something dies, so you know what killed it and what direction it's going to be going. IdrA is spreading creep, but the Terran player do know that IdrA is spreading creep, and he's going to go in and harass with the Banshee. And the 5th base is going up, a couple of infestors coming over, and Fungal Growth perhaps? Fungal Growth does go off, this infestor is getting killed, ooh. And he throws down 2 infested Terrans. It looks like that's the magical number. And he Fungal Groves the Banshee one more time, and that looks like it's enough. 2 Fungal Groves and 2 infested Terrans will kill a Banshee. If we take a look at the army count right now, both players are reaching that critical mass of 200. We might see a little bit more action as both these players were deciding to macro up. And Fungal Growth, 2 infested Terran. This 1 infested Terran is going down, but the second one does hurt it a little bit. But it looks like, is it gonna? Yeah, it's gonna require a 3rd Fungal Growth. 2 sensor towers have been built by the Terran player, and he's also grabbing the gold expansion. Very, very good idea, along with a planetary fortress. If we take a look at the income, both about even on minerals, slight ahead for gas and minerals for IdrA. And the army count reaching a critical 200 versus 188. 188. It looks like he's supply block once again, and IdrA might be thinking about pushing in here with his 1-2 upgraded Zerglings and some Ultralists in the back, and these Hellions are going to roast them. But at the same time, IdrA has an immense amount of Overlords. He's going to be able to drop. He did lose 1 Overlord into the back. A lot of Ultralists are being dropped. These Ultralists will be able to do a lot of damage. He's actually not wanting to hit the front lines. He's going to take down the planetary fortress. Very, very good play. Both players are macroing up like crazy right now. IdrA getting a lot more Ultralists. He's already back to 184, even though he lost a tremendous amount of his army. If we take a look at the income tab, that is exactly why IdrA did that. Right now, his opponent, the Terran player, is only at around 130, 150. He did lose about 25 to 50% of his income because he took down the planetary fortress right here, and is currently being rebuilt. But if we take a look at the army size, 200 once again for IdrA. Almost immediately after he lost most of his army, he built it right back up. Very, very good micro skills there from IdrA. And it looks like these Hellions are thinking about pushing out to get some harassment done to pay IdrA back, and IdrA is perfectly aware of it. He's moving the Ultralists into place, and that should be no problem for these units, but they can't slow them down. He does manage to take down a couple. This Overlord will know that another command center has gone down for the Terran player, and he's gonna come and harass it. A couple SCVs being transferred and getting killed in the process, only 2 that time. And the command center is forced to live because he does not have any support. Terran support is very, very good defensively, but it's usually very, very difficult for them to spread out, and when it's spread out, it's not super effective. And if we take a look at the Terran's production, he's actually making Thors. Thors are a very good idea, I think, in defending, but very, very difficult to move against a Ultralisk and Zergling heavy army. Not super effective against them full on. If we take a look at the units, both players having 200 at the moment. I think we had IdrA kill off some Zerglings, drones there. And it looks like the Terran player is killing off some of the Overlords, and he is going to go down, but he still has 200 supply. A battle is taking place on the side. A lot of Ultralists are getting killed. This is the terrific position